We all know that a research paper has plenty of concepts involved. However, a great deal of concepts makes your study confusing. A conceptual framework ensures that the concepts of your study are organized and presented in a simple and comprehensive manner. The conceptual framework serves as the blueprint or overview of the whole study. It is used to illustrate processes and variables involved in quantitative action and basic researches. A conceptual framework represents the researcher's synthesis of the literature on how to explain a phenomenon. In other words, the conceptual framework is the researcher's understanding of how the particular variables in his study connect. It identifies the variables required in the research investigation. It also maps out the actions required in the research study, given the previous knowledge of other researchers' point of view and the observations on the subject of research. So conceptual framework is the researcher's map in pursuing the investigation. Understand that in explaining complex relationships, the easiest, simplest, and most effective way of delivering them is through a conceptual framework. Moreover, researchers do not just create conceptual frameworks out of nowhere. They conduct comprehensive reviews of literature that support their conceptual framework, which makes their conceptual frameworks even more credible. Why should research be given a conceptual framework? Imagine your study as a long journey with the research result as the destination. You don't want to get lost in your journey because of the complicated concepts involved. This is why you need to have a guide. The conceptual framework keeps you on track by presenting and simplifying the relationship between the variables. Also, people who will read your research must have a clear guide to the variables in your study and where the research is heading. So just by looking at the conceptual framework, the readers can get the gist of the research concepts without reading the entire study. Now, what is the difference between conceptual framework and theoretical framework? Both of them show concepts and ideas of your study. The theoretical framework presents the theories, rules, and principles that serves as the basis of the research. The theoretical framework presents broad concepts related to your study. So the theoretical framework, it draws support from time-tested theories that embody many researchers' findings on how and why a particular phenomenon occurs. And the function of theory in research is to identify the starting point of the research or starting point of the research problem and to establish the vision to which the problem is directed. On the other hand, the conceptual framework shows a specific approach derived from the theoretical framework. It provides specific variables and shows how these variables are related. So in conceptual framework, it includes a visual diagram or a model that summarizes the concepts of your study and a narrative explanation of the model presented. The conceptual framework has different types based on how the research concepts are organized. We have taxonomy, visual presentation, mathematical description, but the type of conceptual framework that is usually used in research studies is visual presentation. In this type of conceptual framework, the relationship between the phenomena and variables of your study is presented. And using this conceptual framework implies that your study provides empirical evidence to prove the relationship or prove the difference between variables.